and we're asking questions. Where did we say that was going to happen? Remember that language? We're going to take a look at the situation and ask you some questions. So here's what I want you to do. Look back to page 52 for a moment. And take a look at the very first box. This is what you said you were going to do. Look at the situation, and I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay? And we're going to jump back over to box number 1 on page 60. We're going to look at the situation and ask some questions. So this is just that. Clear? That's it. So how long does that take? I mean, without considering anomalies of, oh, the problem was hidden and I had to do some further, extended diagnostic, those things happen and they exist, and that's cool. That's not the majority of the times. The majority of the time, how long does it take approximately to look at the initial situation enough that you've got the ability to put some options against it and ask the customer a few questions?
20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes? So go ahead and draw 15 in there, right? 15 minutes. 20 if you prefer 20. And then somewhere in that box, draw a little stick figure. Because notably absent from this box is our customer. And the customer is critical to this first box. We need to have them present, and if not physically present enough that we can either go back and talk to them because they're not able to go to the spot where we're at. If you're in a crawl space or something, attic, they may not want to go up there with you, that's fine. Then come back, they're still part of the process. If they're not present, you've got them on the phone, they may not physically be there, they're still part of the process. Without question and without variation, they need to be part of that process. I cannot provide good options to a customer who's not there. Because then I go back to the previous page, and if their customer is not there, the only thing I'm going to solve is, I know what the customer wants or needs. They still have no idea. And that's going to leave me in a position of trying to sell them stuff they have no understanding of. And a confused mind says, no. Right? So customer needs to be present. We're going to ask them some questions. Then we're going to move to the thorough evaluation of the entire system. And as we're doing that, we're continuing to ask them questions. And again, flipping back to the agenda card, whichever page that is, 52. Look at the second box. Thorough evaluation of the entire system, and I'm going to ask you some questions. You see how easy this is? You just tell the customer, here's what we're going to do, and then anytime along the way, if you get confused, just look back at what you said you were going to do. What should I be doing next? Oh yeah, thorough evaluation of the entire system. And go. Really easy. This is the entire system. This is it. In 6 easy windows. Really simple to do. All right, so back to our roadmap. How long is that thorough evaluation of the system going to take? Yeah, could be. Depending on what trade you are, the age of the equipment, if you're HVAC and it's new equipment you installed last year, your company did it last year, that's a quicker thorough evaluation. Fair? And if it's 12-year-old air conditioner and it's dying and it's on its last legs and the customer's thinking they might want to replace it, we really want to get clear about that thorough evaluation. We want to give them an honest assessment of what that looks like, not because we're trying to sway them into doing one thing or the other, but our job is to give them information and options. We can't do that if we haven't done a thorough evaluation. Right? So, and we're asking them questions all along the way. So that is anywhere between 15 and 45 minutes, typically. Does that sound about right? Can you live in that space? 15 to 45 minutes. And again, draw the picture of the customer. Draw a little stick figure somewhere inside that. Critical that they're present to that. And I would rather you draw it than it actually live in that book before you even open it. Now your brains have said, why am I drawing that picture? Because there needs to be a dude around when I'm doing this. There needs to be somebody. And now it's completely possible at this point that the customer's not standing with you as you're doing that entire evaluation. That's completely possible, especially in HVAC, right? Wherever in crawl spaces and so on, and there's components of this in electrical and plumbing as well, where the customer may not go with you for the whole thing. I will say that it's always better if they are. If they're present, standing over your shoulder the whole time, that's better. Because now their understanding goes up. And when their understanding goes up, a clear mind says, yes. So that's what we're looking for. We can't get that clarity if they're not present to the situation. Yeah.
In a situation where this is the scenario, but let's say the wife is present and the husband is the decision maker is
back up to our greet step for just a moment. So when we set up the greet step, we said to the customer, so this sounds like something that you'd like me to get fixed today. So that's gonna flesh that out. At that moment, you're gonna get that information. You're gonna say, yeah, I'd love to, but I'm gonna need to talk to my husband before I do it. Right? If that's being said at the front door, that's real now. Right? Now I know that that's a real consideration. When that comes up at the end of the call, I'm not sure if they're just trying to get me out of their house. Now that information's not at the front door. They say it. Well, clearly they've had this conversation. And she's not going to make a decision before she's there. That's going to change how I go about my explore steps slightly. So I'm going to create space, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to create space for them and have that conversation without me present, so that we can facilitate that. But if they say at the front door, "Oh yeah, absolutely, we're getting this fixed today," that'd be fantastic if we could do that. Then that decision maker question's off the table. Could change if I'm switching, for the HVAC folks in the room. The only place where that's going to switch is if I move to an option C scenario where they're saying, let's replace the equipment. Right now, the entire project has gone from, under $1,000 to $15,000. That probably requires a conversation. So then we're going to make that adjustment at that point. That's way back in the present step. So from now in the explore step, just know that, do you plan for this to get fixed today? It sounds like something you want me to fix today. That question in the greet step is going to take care of, talk to spouse, I'm going to wait, I don't really want to do it right now, I need to get other bids. All of those objections have now been flushed out at the front door before we walk in, before there's any mistrust, before there's any price issues, any of that stuff. They'll tell you, no, I've got 3 other people lined up, and we're going to, right, okay. Or, yes, definitely want to get this fixed. I'm going to take time off of work, let's get this done. Okay, that's it. That's clear and honest intention at the front door. Now we'll tell us all that information. Thank you for asking me.